各位媒体老师，下午好。今天是第一季90场啊，挺快的。还是老规矩，简单说一下这个注意事项啊。第一条是不在这个中间过道拍照，就是发布会开始以及整个过程我们都不到这个中间过道来。第二条是拍照的时候不开启这个闪光灯。第三条是把手机调至静音状态。我们现在可以检查一下手机是不是处于静音状态。第四条呢是我们中间过道不放置物品，比如我们随身携带的这个书包，然后什么我们可以放到这个里侧。谢谢各位媒体老师的积极支持和配合。
对，我就说的这个事，尽量往后挤了，因为在这儿，你看那个，让他进来。不是。不是在问的有那个床位有些人谈谈话的可能离那么远，他们不认识的。就主意我这个以前在那儿时候，好多次，其实他站那的，是吧？你那个就那个直播的那个他们声音太低。 挡你的镜头。
他在前面我有点
好，我也给他，我现在基本找不到人。
各位媒体朋友
Friends of the media, good afternoon. Welcome to the press conference of the Joint Prevention Control Mechanism of the State Council. Today we'll focus on the improvement of consumption and the upgrading of economy based on e-commerce. We have with us DDG Cai Yudong from the e-commerce department of Ministry of Commerce, Inspector Li Ying from the MIIT, Director Liu Jinxi from the All China Federation of Supply and Marketing Cooperatives, DDG Bianzuo Dong from the Market Supervision Department of the State Post Bureau, and they will take questions on online consumption, e-commerce for industry and agriculture, and unmanned distribution. First, some updates on the pandemic. During the 24 hours of April the 24th, according to reports from provinces, cities, and Xinjiang Production Construction Corp, new confirmed cases 12, including 11 imported cases. There were 4 in Shanxi, 3 in Inner Mongolia, and in Tianjin, Jilin, Heilongjiang, and Yunnan provinces, 1 respectively. 1 confirmed case was domestic case. In Heilongjiang province, there was no new death. New suspected cases 3, including 2 imported suspected cases and 1 domestic suspected case in Beijing. On the day, newly cured and discharged from hospitals numbered 89. Close contacts that were removed from medical observation 566. Severe cases were reduced by 8. On the front of imported cases, remaining confirmed cases 720, including 25 severe cases. Remaining suspected imported cases 14. Cumulatively confirmed cases 1,629. Cumulatively cured and discharged from hospitals 909. There was no death case among imported cases as of 24 o'clock April the 24th. According to reports from provinces, cities, and Xinjiang Production Construction Corp, remaining confirmed cases 838, including 49 severe cases. Cumulatively cured and discharged from hospitals 77,346. Cumulative deaths 4,632. Cumulatively reported confirmed cases 82,816. Remaining suspected cases 17. Cumulatively traced close contacts 729,287. Close contacts that remained under medical observation 8,493. In Hubei province, on the day there was no new confirmed case, no remaining suspected cases, no new death. Newly cured and discharged from hospitals 24. Remaining confirmed cases 23. All were Wuhan cases. There was no new severe case. Cumulatively cured and discharged from hospitals 63,593, including 46,441. Cumulatively reported death cases 4,512, including 3,869 in Wuhan. And total confirmed cases 68,128, including 50,333 in Wuhan. According to reports from provinces, cities, and Xinjiang Production Construction Corp, new asymptomatic infections 29, including 4 imported asymptomatic infections on the day. One case was confirmed. It was an imported case of asymptomatic infection. And on the day, 24 were removed from medical observation and 10 were imported asymptomatic infections. Those who remain under medical observation as asymptomatic infections, 983, including 150 imported asymptomatic infections from Hong Kong, Macau, and Taiwan. The total reports of confirmed cases, 1,508, including 1,035 in the Hong Kong SAR, 45 in the Macau SAR, and 428 in the Taiwan region. On April the 24th, across the country for 10 consecutive days, there was no new death. Severe cases was on fluctuated downward trend. The treatment was effective. The source countries of imported cases increased to 50. New imported, confirmed, and suspected cases were reported in 7 provinces. We must guard against the domestic cases triggered by imported cases. The task is still arduous. We must prioritize precision, prevention, and control, keep unrelenting focus on the personal protection, and minimize transmission risks. Now we'd like to take questions from the floor. Please ask questions on today's topic, and please identify yourself before you ask questions. Journalist from the first row on the right side, please. Thank you. With CGTN, we've noticed that since the outbreak of COVID-19, efforts were made in balancing prevention control and improving economic development, and the focus was on the development of e-commerce and fostering of new types of businesses. So what were the measures adopted and what has been the effect? DDG Cai Yudong is taking the question. Thank you for your question. During the COVID-19 response, e-commerce did play a unique and important role in balancing and sustaining the development. Ministry of Commerce has been implementing the plan from the State Council, balancing prevention control and economic development. We've given play to the role of e-commerce to improve and unleash the potential of consumption. On one hand, we promoted the resumption of business and operation. We've been communicating with the e-commerce players and help them to deal with difficulties. We collaborated with the State Post Bureau to improve the synergic development of e-commerce and express delivery. We've also been focusing on the trainings. Altogether, we made 12,000 person times trainings in the e-commerce training stations. We've also did some analysis on the e-commerce players. 90% of the e-commerce business have resumed their operation. The second aspect, we've been promoting the market development. We guided localities to be engaged in the webcast promotion of sales. According to our data, in the first quarter, the retail online size was basically similar with that of last year. Commodity products total sales value increased by 5.9% YOY, which means that the online retail promoted consumption. As China's COVID-19 prevention control is moving towards the positive, and with the adoption of an array of measures, we are more confident in boosting consumption down the road. Some information to be disseminated here. MIIT, Ministry of Commerce, the State Post Bureau, and the Consumer Protection Association will soon host online shopping festival on 28th of April. It will be last until May the 10th. 109 flagship e-commerce players will be engaged. Vertical businesses, service-oriented businesses are all engaged to present quality products to the consumers. In particular, there are some boutique shops and agricultural produce sellers, energy conservation products, and a variety of hodgepodge sellers. So what will be promoted will be the concession of benefits to consumers.
We hope that they can sell well as well as providing good services. Furthermore, there are online businesses in catering and other products. We hope that this initiative can help recover the online business, and also the foreign trade companies are also included in such initiative. Diplomatic missions to China from other countries are also signing contracts with us, and we hope that this initiative can turn out to be very successful, and we look forward to your participation. Okay, let's continue. On the left, on the front row, the first reporter, please. Thank you. With China News Service, recently, the new infrastructure development has become a hot topic. What is the role of these new infrastructure development and how to promote them? We will have Madam Li to take the question. Thank you for your question. Indeed, the new infrastructure development, the industrial internet and the 5G have become the buzzwords recently. They are closely watched by the general public, and they are important pillars to online business and e-commerce. They are also core to the e-commerce development in China. It has become a widely popular phenomena to have such online business, and during the outbreak, the new business models with online shopping and consumption have become popular. They have also posed new requirements for new infrastructure. So the new infrastructure development, like the industrial internet and the 5G, are becoming the pillars of the economic development. They will facilitate the online and offline integration and match the supply with the demand and facilitate the high quality development of the economy. The MIIT has accelerated the development of 5G and the industrial internet, as well as all the other new infrastructure development to better serve the SMEs and resume the work and the production. Various policy measures have been worked out to accelerate the new infrastructure development and the integration of the online and offline businesses. For the next step, we will adopt the following 5 measures. The first is to develop a strong supporting network, accelerate the 5G network development so that we can develop an easy access network with the 5G and the industrial network internet developed rapidly. And the second, we will encourage the integrated growth of a dozen of sectors. For industrial internet, it's not only about the industry or the manufacturing sector. And also, we are to strengthen the security of the new infrastructure development. And fourthly, we will accomplish the synergy among the various sectors with the new information technology. And fifth, we will come up with policy incentives so that more talents and human resources in the new era could be well cultivated. So going forward, we will work together with the sister government agencies so that the new infrastructure can better support the e-commerce, upgrade the online consumption, and play a more important role. Okay, thank you. Let's continue. On the right, on the second row, the third reporter in white, please. Thank you. With the China Co-op Times, now we can find that during the outbreak, the major players in rural economy are gravely affected. They determine the quality of rural economic growth. So for the next step, how can they get support so they can also contribute to the fast growth of the rural economy? We will have Mr. Liu Jingxi to take the question. For the supply and the marketing cooperatives, they are economic organizations to facilitate the growth in rural areas. In recent years, our capacity to serve the rural economy is being strengthened. For example, last year, we have realized the 18 trillion yuan worth of agricultural products sales and marketing. Since the outbreak, we have made every effort to ensure the rural economy will not be gravely affected, and the spring plowing will get prepared. Namely, we conducted three efforts. The first is we've made innovation to better serve the rural farmers and the rural economy. The COVID-19 outbreak has caused difficulties in the rural farming. So by signing contracts with the farmers, we help the farmers to get ready for the plowing and farming. Secondly, we have come up with various services to facilitate rural economy and rural farming. Such services has reached the level of 190 million more of land. And also we have facilitated the coordination between the smallholder farmers plowing and the market. Secondly, we try to build a farmer beneficial platform and provided professional services to the farmers. Up to now, we've already set up 13,000 farmer supporting centers and also various farmer servicing institutions and offices. By doing so, it is fair to say that we are contributing to the scale of economy in rural agricultural economy. And thirdly, we have promoted the green agricultural practice and facilitated the development of a beautiful village in rural areas. We have intensified the support for the green agricultural production materials such as the fertilizers and the pesticides. In recent years, the organic fertilizer has witnessed the 9% increase, while the water-soluble fertilizer has also had more than 45% of increase. The cooperatives are also actively engaged in the environment protection in rural areas, and also the landscape development in rural areas. We have been actively engaged in these projects with the aim to further benefit the farmers and the rural economy,
thus ensuring food safety. Thank you. Next question, please. Journalist from the third row on the right side. The journalist near the corridor. With the CCTV, on the standing committee meeting of the State Council, it was decided the 127th Canton Fair will be held online so that businesses can place orders without leaving their homes. What will be the measures and plans by the Ministry of Commerce to promote the integrated online and offline development of business? DDG Cai Yudong is taking the question. Thank you for your question. Since the outbreak of COVID-19, e-commerce has made new innovations one after another. There were emerging business formats and patterns. Just as you've rightly mentioned, the 127th Canton Fair will be held online. This is the latest integrated activity of online and offline seamless connection. Many flagship companies have launched the online tools to promote the business resumption. Many superstores have enhanced their collaboration with online businesses. By so doing, the online-offline channels of sales have been initiated. The integration of online and offline business models have been the tools used by many businesses to ensure survival and thrival. In this unconventional time, Ministry of Commerce paid special attention to foster such integration. And to improve the smart economic development quality, we've made 4 efforts. First, we nurtured well-conditioned digital businesses and cultivated businesses that can provide digital services and innovate businesses. Second, we've helped the building up of the bases and the cultivation of major brands so that they can lead the industry development. And third, we've been promoting the integrated development of government measures and the market development. Multiple stakeholders have been engaged in the joint promotion of e-commerce, diversify the products, and improve the services provided to the SMEs and micro businesses so as to transform the SMEs. Fourth, we leverage the training to improve the storage of digital talents so as to promote the integration of industries and the training and learning so as to sustain the intelligent support to the e-commerce and the digital economic development. Next question, please. Journalist from the 4th row on the left side, journalist in black. Thank you. With the South Metropolitan News, the express delivery is still faced with weaknesses and deficiency in villages. Only 35% of the villages can have the fast express delivery. So it is a common concern of many that whether the agricultural produce can be distributed through express delivery. So how can we boost the logistics to ensure agricultural produce can find access to market? I'd like to ask DDG Bian Zodong to take the question. Thank you for your question. Logistic and express delivery is an important component of agricultural business development. 96.6% of the towns and townships have set up outlets of express delivery services. In the first quarter of the year, in spite of the COVID-19 influence, 3.1 billion pieces of packages have received or left villages, a total value of 200 billion RMB. But indeed, admittedly, there is a higher cost of the express delivery from agriculture for agricultural produce, and the service is not penetrating to every corner. That's why the State Post Bureau has initiated a 3-year program to ensure well-conditioned villages can have the ubiquitous express delivery services. We have 6 methods to realize this. Express delivery companies and operators may set up their own outlets, or they may form consortium to set up outlets in villages. The express delivery operators can also collaborate with the transportation stations in localities. They can engage in the collaboration with e-commerce platforms and third-party platforms so as to make the pie bigger and foster an ecosystem of rural express delivery services. The express delivery services has a sound basis of development in rural areas. There are emerging good business formats. The golden plate projects with the packages exceeding 10 million, covering many brand products, including the kiwi fruit in Shanxi and oranges from Guangxi. The number of these packages represent the choices of the customers. We have set up some gold plate and silver plate projects. I'd also like to take this opportunity to promote the sales of agricultural produce from Hubei province. They also have some gold and silver products, including oranges as a gold plate project. The moxibustion grass in Huanggang, the lotus root in Liancheng, tea leaves in Dani, and the yellow peach in Xiangyang, Fuxi tea leaves and potatoes in Xiangyang, and oranges in Xiangyang. So for these silver projects, they have a package volume of over 1 million. Such a big number of packages delivered embody the great choices by the consumers. We'd like to encourage more purchase of these brand products, and this will be indeed great contribution to the resumption of business in Hubei province. Thank you. Next question, please, journalist from the 3rd row on the left side, please. Thank you. With Dragon TV, with the development of new generation information technology, e-commerce has shifted from consumption to a broader scope, including industry application. MIIT has been promoting the industry internet. What has been the progress up till now, and what has been its role in the COVID-19 response and the resumption of business? I'd like to ask Inspector Li Ying to take the question. Thank you for your question. Also, I'd like to thank for your concern in MIIT's efforts. Everyone is familiar with the term of e-commerce. However, internet industry internet is still a rarely known area. Internet development has shifted from the consumption sector to industry promotion. Industry internet has accelerated its development. When we talk about e-commerce, it is mostly referring to B2C, but internet for industry is mostly referring to B2B. In particular, the rapid development of industry internet has become an important basis and a pillar or engine for the new generation e-commerce development. MIIT has selected 41 pilot projects to promote industry internet development. As of the end of March 2020, the backbone businesses of industry has 62.25% coverage of internet for industries, and their e-commerce platforms are of tens of millions RMB in terms of its scale. After the outbreak of COVID-19, industry internet businesses have been focusing on dealing with the bottlenecks and the difficulties to support the business resumption. They have promoted the business resumption. They have leveraged the information about the emergency response supplies, and they helped to ensure the smooth running of the entire supply chain, connect demand with the supply, and promoted the synergy development of upstream and lower stream businesses, and provided the supplies in a timely manner. Besides, these businesses have enhanced the information dissemination on demand and supply, organized upstream, lower stream businesses to provide the emergency supplies, match the supply with the demand. The internet for industry has also enabled SMEs to sell their products, to save their cost in procurement, expand the orders, meet financing needs. SMEs service is an important aspect of our coverage.
So during the outbreak period, we have come up with policies to accelerate the resumption of work and production and the development of the new infrastructure such as 5G. We've also come up with policy measures to facilitate the growth of the SMEs with means like the online shopping and the consumption. We are also encouraging the development of the online apps based on the industrial internet to help the transition of the SMEs. Going forward, with the major businesses as well as the SMEs, we will encourage the development of the online business platforms and also the utilization by the SMEs of such platforms. Okay, let's continue. On the left, on the second row, the second reporter in black, please. Thank you. With Beijing Media Network. During the outbreak, the online shopping plus express delivery have become the standard practice. So my question is, as the work and the production resumption continues, how will the SPB2 facilitate the online shopping? We will have Mr. Bian Zuodong to take the question. Thank you. Thank you. Just as people usually describe it, that the online shopping and the express delivery are complementing each other. At the moment, the express delivery has supported a large percentage of the online shopping. The quota or the share is about 20% of online shopping. In the pandemic response and the work resumption, the express delivery satisfies people's needs for necessities as well as the work resumption. Now we have the daily express delivery as many as 200 million. So it's about the same level as prior to the outbreak. However, there are still some problems such as the delivery in rural areas, the packagings of the delivered goods, and also the data security. So for the next step, the SPB will focus on the needs in pandemic response and the work resumption. So we plan to do the following things. The first is to orient it towards the three markets: the rural market, the manufacturing market, and the international market. We will facilitate the express delivery in rural areas and also to going abroad. And secondly, we are going to facilitate the growth of the new business models to address the remaining bottlenecks. So we are to promote the smart express delivery box and also the smart warehousing. To put it simply, 3Ds. Actually, they are referring to the three scenarios of express delivery. By doing so, we hope to cultivate the synergy between express delivery and the online shopping. Thirdly, we are going to address the bottlenecks. The first is to set up a mechanism to ensure the smooth delivery of the products. So in this regard, we are to promote the use of the smart delivery boxes, and the express delivery man can go into the neighborhood communities. And the second, we are to have a mechanism so that the express delivery can perform soundly. Thirdly, we are to ensure the rural express delivery. Thank you. Okay, let's continue. On the right, on the fourth row, the third reporter in black, please. Thank you. With Changjiang Daily. The Hubei province was the epicenter of the outbreak, especially the Wuhan city. So my question is for China Co-op, any particular supportive policies or measures for Hubei province and Wuhan city in particular? We will have Mr. Liu Jingxi to take the question. Thank you for your question. It is a fine tradition of the Chinese people to offer mutual assistance, and it is also a concentration of the social values of the socialist ideology. So the China Co-op has wasted no time in responding to the outbreak and developing solutions and policy measures to support the epicenter, that is the Hubei province. We've already had a working mechanism in this regard. We made donations in cash and in kind. By the end of March, the co-op system donated more than 17 million yuan worth of supplies, as well as the grains and the medical supplies for more than 1,700 tons. Now, the agricultural producers in Hubei province have encountered the problem of difficult access to the market. That's why China Co-op has made use of our strengths in the coordination between the supply and the marketing and the market. So all of us have made our personal contribution to this initiative, online and offline. We have also advocated the procurement of the agricultural produces from Hubei province. By the end of yesterday, in total, the co-op system has procured from Hubei various agricultural produces, which worth 1.8 billion RMB yuan, including more than 800 billion yuan worth of tea. This initiative is still ongoing, and I'm going to share with you more data in the future. Okay, let's continue. On the right, on the fifth row, the reporter in black, please. Thank you. With Hong Kong Economic Herald, in recent years, we can see the cross-border e-commerce is developing despite the overall weakening of the trade. So how about the overall layout in China?
DDG Cai Dong is taking the question. Thank you for your question. On April the 7th, the State Council has established 46 new comprehensive pilot zones. With the existing 50, we will have across the country 105 comprehensive testing zones for e-commerce covering north, south, east, west of China. And we will enhance the connection between all the parts of China through the airway and landway transportation. We will give a try to taxation and monitoring policies for the cross-border e-commerce development, and thus promoting its development. Thank you. Next question, please. Journalist from the first row on the left side, the third journalist. Thank you. With the China Family News, information consumption is a new form of consumption, a typical example of consumption upgrading. What has been the new changes in the current time? What will be the measures adopted by MIIT to promote and upgrade information consumption? I'd like to ask Inspector Li to take the question. Thank you for your question. Great question. We may be very clear that MIIT is an authority in charge of the industry development. MIIT is seen through the supply side of economic development and technology progress. However, as the further development of technology and the market, as we promoted the supply side reform to a great extent, we have been problem-oriented and demand-oriented. So we didn't look only from the lens of supply, we also focused on demand side. So we've been straddling between the supply side and demand side development of industries. In 2003 and 2007, MIIT led the adoption of measures by the State Council on the opinions to expand domestic demand, further unleash the potential of domestic demand. So these two sets of opinions have been approaching the information consumption development from the perspective of demand, and we took the lead in upgrading and transforming industries. Over the years, information consumption with the national support has kept its rapid development. It has penetrated into the life and work and recreational activities of the general public. Information consumption is shifted to information plus consumption. Online consumption has been transformed to the integration of offline and online integrated consumption, thus expanding the new consumption room of the general public. Today, we have been focusing on e-commerce, and we can keenly feel that the information consumption is not limited to our past definition of online consumption only. E-commerce and all other forms of online business activities have started from information consumption. Even if you are placing an order on an e-commerce platform, you have to first check the information related to the commodity online. The delivery of these products have also seen exponential growth. More and more people are enjoying the convenience of information consumption, contributing to the setting off of COVID-19 impacts. Meanwhile, the enterprise-based online working, the online document synergy, and the concurrent cloud migration services help the businesses to resume their operation. The data traffic consumption gave us a tangible understanding of the increase. In the first quarter, we've seen the traffic of data increase by 30%. And last month, it hit 9.5 GB, the highest in the past 12 months. And going forward, we will continue to improve the supply of the internet industry, expand the coverage of information services, create a great business environment, and further promote the information consumption from both supply and demand side. As DDG Cai from Ministry of Commerce has mentioned previously, MIIT is also supporting the Ministry of Commerce in this April 28th shopping festival online. MIIT will focus on the support lent to the good service providers, improve the service capacity of businesses. From the supply side, there are several features. There will be an abundance of new products for customers to choose. Many backbone companies have been engaged. Many export-oriented businesses will reintroduce some of the products to the domestic market. Innovative, functional, and environmental-friendly products will be on the festival. We'll also focus on the customer experiences. Big data-based selection of products, along with the webcast promotion of sales, will be the basis to promote online-offline sales so as to enhance the experiences of the customers. Shortly before, President Xi Jinping visited Shanxi province. We've seen the application of internet industry and e-commerce in promoting the sales of agricultural produce. Many brand companies has a full storage of products. They will also have some cuts on the prices and provide concessions of benefits to customers. We will collaborate with DDG Cai and the Ministry of Commerce to ensure the online shopping festival, the upcoming online shopping festival, will be a complete success and ensure e-commerce can fully serve the upgrading of online consumption. Thank you. In the interest of time, we can take two last questions. Journalist from the third row on the right side, the journalist near the aisle. Thank you. With Economic Daily, in the first quarter, China's GDP decreased by 6.8%. Tertiary industry saw a decrease of 5.2%. As a national economic organization, what has been the impact felt by ACF-SMC? What has been the measures and efforts adopted by the China Federation to support economic development? Director Liu Jinxi from ACF-SMC is taking the question. Since the outbreak of COVID-19, the supply and marketing cooperatives have been helping the economic development and ensuring livelihood of the general public. We have been an important workforce in ensuring economic growth. Supply and marketing cooperatives directly serve the citizens in urban and rural areas, so we were indeed impacted by the COVID-19. as domestic prevention and control has been moving towards the positive, and life and work is resuming the normal stages. The supply and marketing cooperatives have been accelerating the resumption of our operation as well. Starting from March, we found the substantial rebound. In March, the month-over-month growth in profits was 331%. So that was a substantial and a major rebound in our business. We've been mitigating risks on 5 aspects. First, cooperatives in rural and urban areas have been leveraged and explore the rural consumption market. In the first quarter, the sales in county and below level of authorities have been 70% of the total consumption.
This has become a solid basis for the whole system and also a major impetus for the current resumption of work and production. Second, we have increased the efforts to have a structural adjustment. In the first quarter, the sales of food and edible oil had 26.1% increase. And also in the daily lives support, it is fair to say that there are some highlights. In the first quarter, the sales volume exceeded 2 billion RMB, while the logistics sales is more than 1 billion, up by 14.4%. Thirdly, we have facilitated the integrated growth of online sales and offline delivery, building a strong defense line in the supply and marketing. During the outbreak, many units of the co-op system made the commitment to keep the price stable. For example, in Jiangsu province, one of the co-op members made the promise that every day they would have the inexpensive or bargain price vegetables and products provided to the general public. And fourthly, we have improved the performance. The asset liability ratio in the first quarter dropped by 0.5 percentage points, especially at the grassroots level. The current liability ratio is only about 61.1%, and the overall system in the first quarter realized a profitability of 4.2 billion RMB. Fifthly, we have been actively engaged in the task to ensure supply. During the outbreak, we have 1,200 member units who have been engaged in the supply guarantee initiative advocated by the government. Within a very short period of time, 96 emergency response supplies center were established. For example, in Guizhou, the food delivery services were provided by one of our co-op members, and within a few days' time, they set up a sound mechanism to ensure the food delivery. Also, our members, like the supermarkets and the farmers' markets, have remained active. Okay, last question on the left, on the fourth row, the first reporter, please. Thank you. With China Postal Express News, now we can find the smart delivery boxes are quickly established. However, some consumers complain that the delivery boys fail to get the acknowledgement before they put the delivered goods into those boxes. So how to improve the management of such boxes? We will have Mr. Bian to take the question. For unmanned delivery, at the moment, it is about the unmanned vehicle, the unmanned smart boxes, and etc. They are the trend for the end delivery. At the moment, we can see that the smart express boxes are quite well established, playing a very important role. For unmanned vehicle, mainly it is used for express delivery in the mountainous areas and in the islands. However, during the epidemic in Wuhan and in Hubei province, the UAV was utilized to deliver the medical supplies to the Jingyingtan Hospital in Wuhan. So we can see the strengths and advantages of these practices. For the unmanned vehicles, they are still at the experimental stage, and they work mainly in the university campuses. Now, for the smart express boxes, according to our data, the goods delivered with these boxes represent 10% of the total, so it's a fairly high percentage point. However, in the old or well-established neighborhood communities, these smart boxes have not been widely adopted. We will come up with policy guidance very soon, and the idea is to identify these boxes as public service tools, and they should enter into the communities, the public institutions, the university campuses, the shopping malls, the rural areas, and the transportation hubs, bring out their strengths in express delivery. But they are only one part of the end solutions. So there can be other forms adopted and complement each other to satisfy the diversified needs of the consumers. We understand that some netizens complain that there are malpractices, such as the failure to get the acknowledgement of the consumer before the goods are put into the boxes. So for such malpractices, the users or the consumers can call the complaint hotline, and the SPB will also investigate into such malpractices. Thank you. For tomorrow's press conference, the topic would be the export quality control of the medical supplies. We will have speakers from Ministry of Commerce, the GACC, the NMPA, and the related government agencies to take questions from the media. Welcome for your participation, and that's all for today's press conference. Thank you.
Oh.